Okay, y'all. This is getting almost cartoonish. I want y'all to look at these pictures. I can't even stop laughing. And tell me, what the heck is wrong with these pictures? Face mask vending machines selling 800 a day. Mask shortage in China has a VR company to selling limited stocks each day through a vending machine. Okay, well, that seems like it could be a good idea, right? But then we look at the pictures. Hey, I mean, it's a good idea if, for just having a mask, right? But if you were to have a pandemic, would you have a mask in a vending machine that people have to touch with their hands and stand next to each other as if the virus only spreads by air? Is this virus aerosol? I very much likely think it is, just like the flu. But if you know Chinese, please translate this thing and send it to these people. Because oh my goodness, y'all. The mask is going to help. The thing you need to be worried about is touching things. Things like vending machines. Things that a lot of people are touching. Standing in lines next to other people that may not have a mask on. I mean, do y'all see? Do y'all see what's going on here? This is cartoonish. It's silly. So you gotta go stand in line with a whole bunch of people that could be infected. Nobody's wearing gloves. Nobody's wearing anything. They're standing real close to each other. And they think that they're going to not get this virus because they're getting a mask out of a vending machine. To me, this looks like China is forcing their people to wear masks, and so this is the only place that they can get them. I don't believe that the Chinese people are ignorant. I believe that they're only buying these things because their government is making them, otherwise they'll be arrested. But as we know, especially if you've ever just had common sense or worked in the medical facility of any sort, a mask is not going to protect you from something that you can get off of surfaces. So they're touching a vending machine, getting their little masks out. And who put those masks in there? It could very well have been somebody that had this corona. Do you see the problem here? It seems that corona can live on surfaces, let's say up to a couple days. There's some people that say 12 hours, some people that say a week. Let's go with just a couple days. Let's say the person that stocks these vending machines has coronavirus. And they stock the machines. But let's not even say any of that. Let's say he's 100% surgically, this thing is sanitized and everything. These people aren't wearing gloves. It's almost like a photo op. What is going on? This doesn't seem normal. It's not normal. This is this is nonsense. Because this is all they are talking about when there are a lot of important things going on. Like, let's get into some other things. What in the world is going on with our news besides them being totally incompetent? Y'all, there have been 5 train derailments in Canada within the last month. There have been 3 or 4 in the States, 1 in Kansas City, 1 in Kentucky, 1 in California. This one's in Alabama. This is all within the last few days. 1 in France. What is going on? And most of them have fuel. So there's 2 options here. Either because they have these what are they called? Like Antifa type people in Canada, like protesting and doing all this stuff, and they could be involved in this, which seems likely. I'm not sure how intelligent it is to have a train derail and then spill the oil, but it also could just be them trying to make, I mean, look, 1 in Melbourne, Australia. I mean, what is going on? And the media is saying nothing about this. Ethanol spills, I mean, fires, like crazy stuff. But coronavirus. I shouldn't have said that. Now the video is going to be demonetized. Speaking of that, y'all, this is just ridiculous. I mean, this is as fake as it gets. I mean, come on. They're now trying to get people to report this. They want us to say, oh my gosh, they're going to send us to FEMA camps. There is something going on with this. It makes no sense. Oh, cruise ship linked to dozens of cases will soon dock in the U.S. I bet it's Princess Cruise. Could it be Princess? Because oddly enough, these are all connected to some very rich people. And it's very strange that all of these states that are declaring a state of emergency are all Democrat-run states, or they are just the greedy ones. Because, you know, when you declare a state of emergency, you'll be able to get some of that $8.3 billion little slush fund that they passed the other day. A whole 21 people have died from it. Y'all, this is just getting weirder and weirder. I think you need to be prepared no matter what, in the sense of, in case people go ridiculous, or in case they push this too far. I'm not saying be fearful for your life or safety. I mean, this is getting more ridiculous as the days pass. There's just no explanation for this. It's like they want the quote-unquote truth community to pick up this FEMA crap. Oh yeah, FEMA. They're gonna send us to FEMA camps. Oh my, oh my. I mean, it's so ridiculous. Because they are demonetizing every single coronavirus video. No matter if you're saying negative things, positive things, it doesn't matter. They are demonetizing all of it. And putting all of this World Health Organization information at the top of these, like, everything, it's really showing that they're being very dramatic about this. I mean, it's so ridiculous. How to prepare for coronavirus. It's more than stocking your pantry. Well, don't go shopping at any of these places. That's what they want. I don't know, y'all. This is just weird. Oh, shopping list is looking more looking a lot more likely. How? It looks more like not. Oh, see, the cases were going down, so now they had to add a few. Oh, actually, let me show you these connections. Let's take a look at this man right here. He goes by the name of Alex Azar these days, but back in the 90s, he was going by the name of William Hamilton. He has many close ties with Eli Lilly, Biorad, the Inslaw affair, Promise Software. I'm going to go over this again because I don't think people understand all the connections. So when we researched the Swan Company and the Indian government, so this Anil guy puts money into Hollywood. I've talked about this before. Y'all can go to my other video that I went into more detail. But I just want to point out some of these other things that maybe you didn't catch. So we have these cruise line companies, just essentially all of these billionaires that people think that, oh, they just, invented something in their garage and they became millionaires and billionaires. It's so amazing. That's not true. These people have all gotten government contracts, have been working behind the scenes, doing all these things, and almost all of it connects to the same companies. Like in 2001 of September, the same 250 billion had miraculously risen to real value, market value of 27.3 trillion. And then what occurred on September 11th? Yeah. Which, oddly enough, all connected to the same companies. BCCI, Promise Software, Inslaw, look into the Inslaw affair. And then, of course, Genie Oil and BCCI. Genie Oil, oddly enough, is who our current president borrowed money from. And what was his payback that they wanted? They wanted the Golan Heights wall situation. They wanted Venezuelan oil. The Syrian-Turkish alliance. So 2 of those have come true. They have built the wall in the Golan Heights. Russia, Syria, Turkey are doing their thing. The one thing they haven't done yet is been able to overthrow the duly elected president Nicolas Maduro of Venezuela, which is amazing. But I've gone through all that in a different video. Now let's look at these cruise lines and these connections. Actually, odd thing, before I get into the cruise lines, do y'all remember that Sylvia Browne that used to be on the Montel Williams show? I think maybe on Oprah. She wrote this book called The End of Days, and she actually predicted that this was going to happen in 2020. Was she a real psychic? I don't know what she was doing. But look, in her book it says, in around 2020, a severe pneumonia-like illness will spread throughout the globe, attacking the lungs and bronchial tubes and resisting all known treatments. Almost more baffling than the illness itself will be the fact that it will suddenly vanish as quickly as it arrived. Attack again 10 years later and then disappear completely. That is very prophetic. I mean, I don't know what to make of that, really. It's pretty interesting, though. Okay, y'all remember Biorad, the company that is connected with Inslaw, Promise, Wackenhut, all of these things? Well, I've showed this map before a little bit, but they're all connected to the people that were messing with these viruses, as well as the people that are creating the vaccines, the Novo company. And as you can see in the map above, these two places are separated by 1 hour and is close to San Diego. What else is in San Diego? I've told y'all. Well, it's in Carlsbad, actually. There's a company called Biorad, where the CIA's secret CIA Wackenhut Corporation is. For those who don't know what Wackenhut is, look into it. Look into the Inslaw affair. These companies have been connected to everything. They used to even call themselves the CIA. Because that's exactly what they are. They're no longer called Wackenhut, they're called G4S, which I'm sure many of you are aware of, because they're the ones that have security guards all over the place. That's essentially their cover, is that they supply contractors to the military and security guards. They act like that's all they do. But behind the scenes, actually, they have on the 13th floor sub-level laboratory for testing and research and development for nuclear biological research. I'm going through this so fast because it's so dangerous. So I'm going to just kind of leave it, and you could screenshot it and then read it yourself. But it is just kind of, even speaking about Alex Azar and his real identity is extremely dangerous. This lady was just accidentally, the whistleblower from Google, the one that most of us never heard of, his wife was just in a accident and she passed away in December. So they like to shut people up. Oddly enough, his name was Robert Epstein, Dr. Robert Epstein. And, oh goodness, Misty Vaughn was married to him, and now she was just in an accident, oddly. Somebody ran her over or something, and her sister, like a couple years ago. Essentially the same scenario. But isn't that neat that this Dr. Epstein, when he came out whistleblowing against Google, all of a sudden Jeffrey Epstein came into the news. So was Google and Intel, Microsoft, all these companies are connected to all of this, y'all. But think about that. Wouldn't that be a perfect cover? Throw Epstein under the bus at the same time? So when people go to try to search for Epstein, they're going to get Jeffrey because of all the stuff that was going on, rather than looking into what Google was doing to manipulate algorithms and manipulate elections and all these other things. And again, not just Google. Because this Promise software, y'all, it has like a 59 key, meaning that it's unhackable. It's hard to even explain. But all of these people are connected, and they've been connected ever since, like, Watergate, Iran-Contra, 9/11, everything. Who else is connected? Well, these cruise lines, oddly enough, let me ask you a question. You know, if these cruise lines are supposedly the source, seemingly, of this corona situation, how come the taxpayers are having to foot the bill rather than these rich people that own these cruise lines? Diamond Princess, that's interesting. And they just happen to be, Princess Cruise Lines is headquartered in Santa Clara, California, Santa Clarita, which isn't far from what I just showed y'all. Seaborn is in Seattle. We know who lives in Seattle. And someone else that is a very famous person. And Carnival Cruise Lines is out of Doral, Florida. If you don't know where that is, you should look it up. Actually, I mean, look up all these things. I'm sorry I can't just like say all of these things, but it really is dangerous. These people are crazy. But look at how much their stocks are up. A lot. Carnival, Diamond Princess, all of these people are connected to Intel, to Bill Gates, to Oprah, to our current administration. And essentially half of the names of DC. Swamp isn't draining. It's probably worse than ever. And then there's something even more horrific that connects with these things. These cruise lines, and they use them for, well, to make money doing very nefarious things that I'd rather not mention. But it has to do with children. And I've done a video where I'd said I wouldn't talk about that kind of stuff anymore because it's just too horrific. But it's a very big possibility. Very terrible things that go on. And you can look more into it. It's also a good place to have someone go missing if they maybe talk too much, if you know what I mean. People just randomly disappear. They must have just gotten drunk and fallen off. Yeah. But anyway, guys, y'all have a wonderful day. Like, share, and subscribe. And don't buy any masks out of vending machines.